Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're kicking off with one of the fundamental building blocks of Python programming, variables. Whether you're brand new to coding or just brushing up the basics, this video is tailor-made for beginners, so stick around and let's get started. If you completed the last video, your coding environment should already be set up. You should have a folder called Python Training, and inside it, a file named hello_world.py. Let's continue from there. If the Hello World file is still open in Visual Studio Code, go ahead and close it. Just click the small X at the top of the tab. Now, let's create a new file for today's lesson. On the left side of Visual Studio Code, look for the Explorer panel. At the top of that panel, you'll see an icon that looks like a piece of paper with a plus sign. That's the New File button. Click it, type in variables.py, then press Enter. You've now created a new Python file where we'll start learning about variables. Let's get started. Let's start with the classic first line of Python code. Type print, open brackets, single quote, hello world, single quote, close brackets. When you run this, Python uses something called an interpreter. That means it reads your code one line at a time, from top to bottom. It sees the print function and knows it should display whatever is inside the brackets. In this case, it shows the message, hello world. You might also notice that your editor highlights different parts of the code in different colors. This is called syntax highlighting. It helps you quickly spot things like functions, strings, and keywords, making your code easier to read. Now let's talk about variables. Think of a variable as a label you stick on a piece of data. Instead of writing the same message over and over again, you can store it in a variable like this. Type message equals, single quote, hello world, single quote. Then, type print, open brackets, message, close brackets. Let's break it down step by step. In programming, a variable is like a labeled container that stores information. You can give it any name you want, and in this case, we are calling it message. Now, we want to store some text inside this container. The text we are using is hello world. This is called a string, which just means a piece of text. So when we write message equals hello world, we are telling the computer to take the string hello world and put it inside the container named message. Later, if we want to use that text again, we can just use the word message, and the computer will know we mean the text inside it. You can also change the value of a variable later in your code. For example, update the variable by typing message equals, single quote, I love all about Python, single quote. And print it again. Python always keeps track of the latest value you assign to a variable. So when you print it, you'll see the updated message. Let's go over some quick rules for naming variables in Python. You can use letters, numbers, and underscores. But the name must start with a letter or an underscore, not a number. Spaces aren't allowed, so don't try to use them. When you're writing Python code, avoid using reserved keywords like print or for as variable names. They're part of the language's syntax and using them can cause errors. Also keep your variable names short but meaningful. For example, student_name is much clearer than s_n. And score is better than just s. Good naming makes your code easier to read and understand. Let's walk through a common mistake you might make in Python. And don't worry, it's totally okay. We start with our variable called message. But in the print statement, we accidentally remove the letter s. When you run the code, Python doesn't recognize that name, so it throws a name error. It even tries to help by asking, did you mean message? This is a great reminder that spelling matters. Python doesn't care what you name your variables, it just wants you to be consistent. Some people say variables are like boxes that hold values. That's a decent way to start thinking about them. But here's a better way. A variable is really just a label that points to a value. You're not putting the value inside the variable, you're tagging it, like sticking a name on something. This idea becomes super important when you start working with more complex things, like lists, dictionaries, and other types of data. Python uses these labels to keep track of what's stored and where. Let's do a quick recap. The print function is used to display output. Variables are labels that point to data. Good naming rules help you avoid errors. Name errors are common and easy to fix. And remember, variables point to values. They don't store them like boxes. If you're just starting out, keep practicing. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's how every great programmer begins. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more beginner-friendly coding tutorials. Feel free to drop a comment with your first Python snippet. I'd love to see what you're building.